walk in his ways, impact voice. Walk in his ways, impact voice.
Good evening to everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Walking This Way Impact Voice podcast. I'm your host, Furman Jackson Jr., back with the team again, along with Miss A herself, Anna C. Coach Shay, have birthday to her. She'll be timing in soon as well. And we are live streaming once again here on Facebook Live. So we encourage everybody to like, share, comment as well. And also we're celebrating Coach Shay's birthday. So hashtag happy birthday, Shay. So let her show her some love, show her all the good love because she's there. She does deserve it. All the work she's been doing, giving back to people, helping people on the right track, and that's what it's all about. Tonight we're talking about relationships. We're talking about love. We're talking about respect. We're talking about communication. We're talking about all the good stuff that everybody wants in life. Everybody wants to be happy, right? Everybody deserves to be happy. And we know that life is what we make it to be. Our guest tonight is Mr. U and Rowe. There are a couple here in the DFW area. They have a lot of work going on within the community, entrepreneurial-wise, business-wise, you name it. They're joining us here tonight as they're talking about their relationship, how they came together. Hopefully, those that's listening to, those who's watching us, will get somebody that would learn something from. You know, there are always possibilities, correct? There's always possibility. Never think because you may have a bad inroad, whatever you want to call it, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. So I just thank everybody for tuning in with it. And also, by the way, happy birthday, Coach Shay, once again. She's back here online, so we're very excited about that. And before we go any further, I want our guests to introduce themselves. So Ro and you go ahead and take away, introduce yourselves to the audience here for the very first time here on Walking This Way Impact Voice podcast.
I'll let you go first.
Oh, we're introducing ourselves. Hey guys, this is Mr. U checking in again. I think I've been on here a few times already, but I'm a fashion stylist, photographer, businessman here in the DFW Dallas area, and I'm glad to be on here again. This is so exciting.
And appreciate you.
Hey guys, my name is Rose Simmons. I'm the founder of the Business Lounge in Dallas, and this is my first time on the show. I'm excited and I'm ready to get through these questions. And happy birthday, Coach Shay.
Thank you all so much. I'm excited to be able to celebrate here on the podcast. I wouldn't have it any other way.
And awesome stuff. Like I said, we're gonna be cooking with some gas. We're gonna be talking about relationships tonight. This is topic that everybody is talking about. It's a very hottest topic as of late, but we really want to focus in on what makes a relationship successful. I believe that relationships can be successful. It takes two willing people to make a thing work. Go hand in hand, that balance out. And people looking for that. I believe you can have a successful relationship, you can have a successful marriage, successful family. It's up to them two individuals to make it work. And we hope, here we got a couple that's an example of that. So we want them to elaborate how this thing came together with these two, where that goes, what is the vision for Young Union. This kind of stuff that's going to help a lot of people that are in relationships that wants to make it work. It's more than says I'm in a relationship, but what's the meaning behind a relationship? I mean, people have questions. They have concerns. It's more to say, okay, we together, but what's the purpose of what we together for? That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Taking it to the next level into the relationship. It's all about moving forward into the things because you don't just want to be together, just be together. It's a purpose behind it. So my first question is, you and Ro, how did the union come together with y'all two?
I'll let you start.
We met at the business lounge. You know what I'm saying? Just on some connecting, networking stuff. Looking for opportunities to work together and see how we can grow in the community. And that's really how it started. I mean, how we got together, it really wasn't an effort like a lot of people may, think it was. It was just like a common mutual understanding of the direction that we both was wanting to go according from what we've been through and according to what we was going through in our current relationships. It was just something that just it was an entity on its own that just really connected us. And we were just in our element doing what we do as entrepreneurs, just showing up, and I think that's a huge message for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? When you find your purpose and with your desires and you're living that, what I'm saying, God will align things in your path for it to make sense. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of times it's not gonna make sense for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But the way we got together, man, it was very unique. You know what I'm saying? The whole background of it. It's something that we definitely we reminisce on a lot. And I think it's one of the things that really continue to strengthen us, because we don't forget the basics, we don't forget the assignment, we don't forget those certain messages that we was shown, what I'm saying, for us to be in this unit. So I mean, I love it. The energy is great. We have a lot of things in common, which I know we'll get into later, but it's amazing to have an opportunity like this to be with your person. You know what I mean? And you know it's for sure because you can feel it. It's a feeling. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And that's what's up. And I know you mentioned that when you was on the podcast last week, when you were saying something dealing with the direction you're going, dealing with purpose, and how I do believe that when you become a better man, you'll draw in a better woman. I do believe that. And then when your mindset starts to shift, you're not going to settle for anything less, especially being a king that you are. Kings want the best. Kings desire nothing but the best, nothing, ain't going to settle for less. So when your mindset starts to change, you start separating yourself from not with the dead end of life into a purpose-driven life. And I'm a firm believer in that. But when you start, your mindset start to change, just start.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take away from it. I mean, it is a journey, man. You know what I'm saying? My life has definitely been a journey, and like I said, to for God to continue to bless me and give me this opportunity and this chance in life, you know what I'm saying? Because, we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. Like, to have a king mindset, you know what I'm saying? It's not about, you know what I'm saying? It's not. It's really a mindset and what you see and how you believe in yourself. And I feel like if you have that, it'll beam outside of you too. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole component of things it takes to be a king, man. But the journey, man, is real. You know what I'm saying? Any guy out there, any female out there that's looking for their person and have that desire, you know what I'm saying? God knows your heart. You know what I'm saying? So continue to work on you and do those things that you feel like you need to do to make yourself a better person. And God will send you that person that equals you, and it makes sense. Because a lot of stuff in my life, it didn't make sense for a long time. And then God will send you this person, man. And it is crazy to be a person. You know what I'm saying? But God will send you a helpmate. God will send you a person, man, in your life. And all of it just makes sense so crazy. Like, you just thought it'd be like little stuff just popping in your head, like, oh my God, yes, that's why. If that's what I had to go through to get here, yes, God, thank you. You know what I'm saying? So it's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
And that's it. But I like how when you walk into it, it's like that was your whole focal point. You just walk right into it. I just believe them type of relationship work when you walk right into it. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, they have to wake up in the morning, they have to look for somebody. But if you find yourself first and fall in love with yourself first, learn who you are first, then everything else falls in place. So I totally agree with you 1,000%. I see a lot of guys, they have to, I have to get myself together for this woman. No, you do it for you first. You do it for you first. It's going to fall in place for you. And that's what it's all about. So I know we got my sisters on here as well. Shay, you have any questions? I know Anna got some questions as well. So we're very excited with having y'all on here with us tonight. I know you have a very unique story. Go ahead, Shay. And then Anna,
of course, I kind of want to give y'all a little background on how I met Ro. And it's crazy how, like, when you say, like, you start doing things and then you start getting into alignment. That's literally how I met Ro. I was literally looking for a place to do business, and I ran across the business lounge, and I was looking at all these beautiful Black women on this website. They was beautiful, and I was like, I looked at her and I said, I need to know this lady. I need to know her. Something was like, you need to know her. And I think I introduced myself at the same day. I went and met her. And I link up every time I can. Anytime she hosts the event, I try to be there. Cause she the plug. Like, she really is the plug, y'all. So when he said that he met her networking, that is where you gonna see her. Cause where else she's working all the time. So it's really no other way you're gonna catch her. No other real way to really spend time with her otherwise without being in her element. So when you said that, it kind of brought back, like, the memories of how I met her is just like working, being in my element, trying to get in alignment with my purpose. And that's really how you meet those type of individuals, like the people that you need to surround yourself with, the people that you need to thrive on. So that definitely, that's really dope. It's really dope that it was natural. It was all natural. It was nothing forced. It was all natural. So that's dope. And you ain't got to try to explain your life away to your spouse why you not her and why you doing this and why you doing that.
Oh, that part.
Like, it's hard, like being an entrepreneur, and then if you with somebody that's not an entrepreneur, they don't get it.
The struggle.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna jump in on that one too. That's why I learned, and that's how you have to sit down and talk about stuff too. You have to put everything down on the table. And I've been hearing this from a lot of couples lately. Before they got with this person, they sit and talk about everything because you don't want your time wasted. You got to value yourself. And you got to let the person know, this is where I come from, this is where I'm at. Now, if you're willing to roll with me, that's cool. If not, no love lost. And that's what we have to learn in a relationship. You got to put everything on the table, lay everything out, and talk about a lot of stuff. And that will miss a lot of good eyes up. And you talked about this before in the podcast. Guys have to stop getting past the looks. Stop focusing on how beautiful she is. Get to know her. Once you get to know her, then you know where it's going. And that will miss a lot of guys up, Shay, because some guys, they get with this person, she look good, whatever, and then when they get into it, is she a bitch now? If you would have sat down and talked about a lot of stuff, I'm just being real. They would sit down and talk about a lot of stuff. A lot of divorces would never happen. A lot of children would never been born. If we really just sit and talk about everything before we go into the next level.
We don't regret the children though, Fern.
No.
Sometimes the children are part of the journey to the destination.
But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is you take your responsibility, but just think about how would it be if we would learn, we was taught a lot of stuff we was taught wrong. We would never taught to communicate.
And that's why when you guys had the King's Mentality segment, and I was in the comments and I was asking, I think it was the Saturday Night Live, and I was asking, like, when did you guys start dating? Like, as dating as an experience, because I feel like I started dating so young I started having adult situations happen so young.
Come on.
To where I ruined a lot of my upcoming experiences because I already had a kid. It was a lot of stuff I had already did. So I had kind of tainted my dating a little bit. Dating wasn't really.
Yeah,
don't say
tainted either.
But you took that experience and you learn from it. You grow from it.
I learned
because we constantly.
But when we in the midst of it, it don't look like we're learning. It looks
your
like
prior experiences makes what she's experiencing now different. It just, it's just cause and effect. Yeah. So because of that, the way she experiences things today is just different. Man, y'all said a couple words that stuck out to me. We talked about alignment. We talked about networking. And to me, it reminds me of like magnetism. I was talking about that today, and it's like you are what you attract. And so whatever you want more of, whatever you're putting out, that's what's going to be drawn to you. And, sometimes people talk about fate and things like that. But Ro, I know y'all been on before, but some of the people may not know about the Business Lounge because they hear y'all met there. I would love for y'all to tell us exactly what it is and what y'all do there. But I definitely believe, like y'all said, not just women, but men too. We have this list. We'll say, I want him to look like this. He needs to make this kind of money. I want her to be shapely. I want her to be curvy. She got to be light skin. She got to be brown skin, long hair, short hair. We have this list in our mind of what we want, right? And it's not just with our partners. It's like what we want in life, our dreams, our ambitions, our goals. But you have to stop and ask yourself, are you the person that's going to attract those kind of things?
Come on.
You know, y'all saying y'all want this high dollar man. Are you a high dollar woman? Okay.
I want to say this too. I want to talk about this about the character.
Yeah.
You can have all those. I just want to know your character. You know what I'm saying? You can look good. I just want to know where you at. Like, you could be trifling. I mean, I just want to know.
That's why you got to be careful what you ask for, right? Because sometimes you making this list, and that's why you attract what you get. So that's all you focus on.
Yeah, because a lot of time, and we done that. We go off the physical aspect. We never look at the character. Okay, we talk about this on the show, and I said this last week. The love, I said, okay, if a person, let's say if your mate, she gains weight, and I said to one of the guys, so I'm saying, so if your mate gets sick or she gain weight, you just gonna up and leave her because she don't look good no more than you or something happen? That's the realness we have to talk about, because anything can happen. God forbid something happened to you, you still gonna be around.
Let's talk about, if we just being real, there's gonna be a yes and a no to that. Because everybody's saying, oh, if they get big, are you gonna leave? If they get sick, are you gonna leave? I don't know. I can only speak for Anna C. Okay, so me, I love unconditionally. And I want you to know that when I say I love you, I mean it. But just because you love someone does not mean you have to stay and be with them, okay? Because somebody asked me, well, if your spouse got addicted to crack, you gonna stay there? Okay, so if it's affecting my livelihood, my sanity, my peace, my well-being, I'm gonna love you from a distance. I'm not about to be married to you and you hooked on crack, spending all our money. And it goes the same thing for talking about, well, you still gonna love me if I get big? Now, if your butt was 150 looking good and fine and you just got comfortable, complacent, and let yourself go, we no longer align. That don't mean I don't love you. You can put on a little weight, but a lot of times people they take this love thing and just run with it.
They get too comfortable. Can I say something on this? Because like in my previous, like when I was married, right? We went through the whole sickness and health situation, right? And I'm one of those people, I'm a server. Like I'm gonna be there. It don't matter what happens, I'm gonna be there. But my thing is this, after we overcome that, then what's next?
Come on.
So are we still gonna stay there? So if we're gonna stay there, then you're gonna stay there, because I'm not. But this is the thing. Like you can let something happen to you, or you can let it control you. One of the two.
Right.
So after you have experienced that, like if you don't choose to move forward, and I'm inspiring you, or I'm trying to motivate you, I'm trying to do everything that I can to help you go to the next level, and you won't, I'm not gonna keep messing with you. I'm gonna be like, okay, all right, I see where you at. I see where your mindset is at. Tell me how I can help you.
Well, let me ask you this,
Tell me how I can help you even more. Then like, hey, I'm done. I'm not gonna keep on trying to waste my energy there,
because it don't make sense if y'all not both elevating. So sometimes you gotta leave them.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. Seriously. I want to know, why do people get complacent for? Why is that? Why?
They get comfortable because they think people won't go nowhere. They think that just because either you may be married, you might have a child together, or you might have been together for a long amount of time. They may think, hey, this person ain't going nowhere. But
you start taking things for granted. Like,
they get comfortable.
It's just
and the money people that take you for granted.
You can get comfortable in your relationship where you're able to share things and grow. But my thing is, don't get comfortable where you just let yourself go.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, because your or your significant other got to be like, look, I still want to be with them. I want to be seen with them, all this, that, and the third. If they don't want to be seen with you, listen, that's a piece of the pie that's just gone. So what you
did to get me, you need to continue to do to keep me.
Everyday thing.
Oh my, that's the one right there.
I'm telling you.
But let me ask y'all.
They feel like it's nothing. They feel like once you've gotten, it's nothing else left to do. Like you just got.
And it goes both ways.
Nothing else no more.
Well, let me ask y'all this: do y'all feel like manipulation comes into play. I'll say this.
Okay.
Because you tell a guy where you at, he may say, yeah, I could do that. Yeah. But then when he finally get what he want, he stops doing that. So you feel like manipulation is involved in it and don't even realize it?
It's people, they send their representative. I'm telling you. Ego. So it's just like when you get in a job. When you go to the job, you tell them, oh, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to be on time. And you know, you ain't never been on time in your life. You're going to do what it takes to get what you want, right? But that's why I say you have to keep on performing to maintain something, because that goes for anything in life. Because you can obtain it, but is it going to sustain, right? Because you could lose that position. You could lose your place. You could lose that relationship. And if we are like kingdom people, if we really kingdom people, we believe in abundance, right? So we should not be so comfortable where we're at. We should always be striving to elevate, to achieve, to excel. Like if you are a child of the kingdom, you know that you have this grand inheritance, you have this massive impact and influence. So there's no limits, right? If we're believers, we believe in no limit. And sometimes you may partner with someone for a season, and you got to keep on going.
And that's okay. Like, it's okay. Like, we have to understand the seasonal position is still a position. It just don't last this long. Right. It's okay if it's seasonal. Like, it's okay. It was a lesson learned.
But when you start elevating, you'll start discerning between the two. You're going to start discerning who's worthy, who not worthy. I do know that. So, because you
making the right partnerships.
Because you got to look at the whole picture stuff, because you're going to start discerning who's worthy, who's not worthy. That's like,
I want to stay on task though. I'm gonna take the second question. So when you ask the second question, I'm gonna take that one.
Okay then.
I'm about to say, I got a question though. I got a question because it's like I know a little bit about the separation and the divorce and everything, the separation. And I'm curious, like I'm really curious, like all that time, like how did you do it? Like how did you do it? Like, cause I know like that's not nothing easy about that. And how did you do it? Like how? Like, man.
All right. So that's a question that everybody wants to know. People looking at me like a divorce advocate or something. And
give us the backstory, because Shay's leading us into a question I'm not familiar. So what's the story?
So I was married for 19 years, right? And it was like my marriage had been dead like the past maybe 4 or 5 years, right? And so when I'm gonna put it like this, when it was time for me to make the move, I didn't make the move on my own. Like God stepped in, and they had nothing to do with it. He happened to be there, but we wasn't dating or anything or nothing of that nature. He happened to be there when the moves was made. Like God came and spoke to me specifically through 2 different people in 2 different locations. Because at this time it was after COVID, because I was one of those people, like I was going to church religiously, right? Before COVID happened. And then when COVID happened, they weren't having church no more. And so everybody was like kind of, you find your church where you find it. Well, the relationship that I have with God, right? God knows how to speak to his children. And so he knows one thing I'm always doing. I'm always networking. I'm always doing meetings, okay? And so that's where he found me at. Or ain't no found, because he knew where I was, but that's where he came to me at and spoke to me through 2 different people that I didn't even know. And so when these people came and they spoke to me, like they was telling me instructions that I had to do, and I already knew that I had to make these moves, and it had to do with my marriage. Because at this point, my marriage wasn't going any further. I was still in it. I was still trying to make it work. But, all it was doing was blocking my progress. It was blocking my future. And in order for me to make that switch, I had to have a good reason to make it. I really did. Because I'm like, look, God, I have a twin brother, so I didn't come into this world alone. I'm not a loner person. I'm one of those people who I have to be like, I'm a server. I grew up in a house full of dudes, and then I had a house full of dudes. I had nothing but sons. And so then I'm like, okay, look, like that's me. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Because God knows his children. So when he came and he spoke to me through those two different people, he gave me specific instructions on what to do, like for real. Like he gave me specific instructions on what to do. And when I tell you I was a nervous wreck, I was. Like all I was doing was crying because I was like, man, I really got to make these decisions. And I already knew what it was going to do. Because if you know, in the word, it says like a woman can tear down a house or she can build a house, period. And so I knew with the decision that I was making, I was going to be doing one or the other. And I had built the house. I built that house. Now it was time to tear that one down and build up another one. And was it going to be easy? No. No. But I took on that task and I went ahead and I did it. And when I did, I'm trying to say all this without crying, but you know what I'm saying? But when I did it, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't easy. And I did post about it. And I posted about it because I felt like I needed to, because I had been married for so long and so many people have followed my journey. And so when I posted about it, I started getting all these inboxes from these women talking about, oh my God, I'm going through the same thing. I need help with this. I need help with that. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. I ain't no counselor now. I ain't no counselor. I ain't no divorce advocate. Like I'm telling y'all, the moves that I made because they were pertinent to me and I had to. My boys are 16 and 20. So my story is not going to be the same for somebody who got a 3-year-old and a newborn. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the same, you know, but everybody's asking me like, how did I do it? And to be honest with you, it's still a struggle right now. It's a struggle right now because we're still going through. But like I made the move because one thing you're gonna know about me, I'm a risk taker. I'm not scared of change. I'm not really at a risk. That's how I'm an entrepreneur today. Like my whole story is a whole risk. You know what I'm saying? Because I know one thing for sure is like high risk is high reward. And God ain't never steered me wrong. He ain't never left me. So yeah. That's how I did it.
I got two
she
questions,
put her
y'all.
faith all I could think about was she put her faith over her fear, y'all.
That's right. Man. Okay. Yes, Shay with the passion. Happy birthday, by the way.
Okay, it's her birthday.
My birthday.
You know, I'm so excited and I'm loving the backdrop, the view of the city. I said she over there doing it big.
Yes, I am live, y'all. This is what it looked like from my studio at night.
It's beautiful.
I was like, I just want to come and do my show at the studio tonight. Get the nice city backdrop back there.
So these are my two questions. Because I know you said y'all connected and y'all met through the business lounge. And now Shay says she met me through the business lounge. Can you please tell us, what is the business lounge? What do y'all do there? Okay, that's my first one.
All right, so the business lounge is a business lounge and event space. All right, so we're nestled in North Dallas. And the thing, our motto is connect, educate, and support. So my goal is to get connected on entrepreneurs so that we can get educated on their businesses so that we can support them. So if you see our logo, it's like a circle of us embracing and connecting. So that's what we do. The goal is to circulate the money in the community. And that's what we do. And so that's why you see when people call me the plug, because I'm literally the plug. I can connect you with whoever you need to in the community that's quality. And so that's what we do.
Wow. How long have you been associated with the business lounge?
Well, I founded the business lounge. And so, yeah, and we launched in 2018 and we launched in 900 square feet. And then March of this year, we recently expanded. So we went from 900 to 2,300 square feet total right now.
That is amazing. Okay, can I say that's amazing? And you draw people that are doing the things you want to do. We talk about this all the time. I love that. And I'm sitting over here like I'm staring at my camera trying to figure out. She said 16 and 20. I'm like, so she had a baby when she was 10. I'm trying to.
So let me say this. By the time I was 21, I had my first child. I was married, had my first house by the time I was 21. Couldn't even drink.
Wow, girl, you look so good.
But if that lets you know a little bit about me, it's like I don't wait for nobody. Like I move, right?
Right.
So when I have established some goals that I want to do, conquer, I'm gonna conquer them, period. And that's what I did. And one of the things I really wasn't expecting my first son to be that early, but hey, he was, right? So after I saw that, I was like, well, you know what? Let me go and knock this other one out the way too. Because if I can have my kids early, that means when they get older, I'm still gonna be young. And
Yes,
Yeah, young.
my favorite. Okay.
You still. Let's ask you this, Rose. So in the previous of your last marriage, so you felt that you was taken for granted, like just take for granted, not just being complacent. Yeah, I felt like your ex was just being complacent, just being scared, just it is what it is. Like just take it as it is.
I would say it wasn't necessarily that. We were just two different people.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were compatible. He was not an entrepreneur, so he didn't understand the late nights, early mornings. You know, he didn't understand I'm out here networking. They look at networking as because I'm having fun. Yeah, I'm having fun. Okay.
I'm at work.
But they look at networking as, oh, you out here partying or you out here spending money or whatever the case. I'll be like, listen, all I'm doing is ordering water with some lemons. Okay. I got the bottle in the trunk. But hey, but I'm saying like he didn't understand the concept, period. And there wasn't nothing that I could say or do. And that's just one of the things. But we really weren't compatible on very many levels. And like I said, when I met him, I was 18. You know what I'm saying? So I was 18, he was 34. So,
and we changed too. We
that
evolved
part.
as people.
Exactly. I didn't even know who I was at 18. Like when I grew up and became a woman and I knew what I really wanted and what my desires were, that's what God gave me.
So is it true that you really, because I heard like some people say like you don't outgrow people or
Yes, you do.
I feel like you do. I feel like sometimes you just outgrow a person.
Don't you outgrow your clothes? Because I used to be a 0 and I sure ain't there no more. I'm still Anna, right?
These pants I don't lost another inch off my waist. I can't even.
Because I done gained it for you. That's what happened. We evolve, we grow, we elevate as people mentally, spiritually, physically. You will not be the same person you were yesterday, a year ago, 6 months ago. And that's totally fine. You know,
because you evolve. Yeah, because you're constantly evolving in a way. So
and it's hard trying to drag somebody along that's not evolving.
Well, let me ask you this.
Come on, Shay.
Let me ask you this.
Like
and y'all, can you sit down and mutually depart? Because I'm going to build, because even Abraham and Lot had to go their separate ways.
I believe it's possible. You know, I definitely believe it's possible. And when y'all was talking about entrepreneurship, you know, sometimes opposites do attract. So y'all know I'm happily married. So let's give a shout out to my spouse, Kobe, out there over the road. Because y'all, I can relate. When I started this business, Kobe was like, I support you, but all you doing is going to brunch and looking fine. And I was like, I promise that's not what I'm doing. I said, see you on social media, just living your best life. And so communication in a union is so important because, hey, I need you to see the vision. I need you to be on the same page with me because I want you on this journey with me. I'm not just out here living my best life. I'm building a life for us.
Come on.
And we each play a part. You know, everybody has their role and you got to do it together. So I want to ask y'all, as a power couple that you two are, you know, Ro, what would you say you bring to the relationship? What's your strengths and what are yours? What do y'all bring together?
So for me, So for me, what I bring to the relationship, like I said before, I'm a server. So one of the things that I'm really good at making sure people are good. So I don't have to receive anything on the other end or anything. It's like, for me, that's my purpose, is to make sure whoever I'm connected with, that they are good. They are able to deliver and perform at the top of their game because I've done what I'm supposed to be in their life. So like, I'm not that nagging person. I'm not that person that's going to be like, you know, get on your nerves. I'm that person to make sure you have everything you need, make sure you feel good, you smell good, whatever the case may be. I'm a server. I that's just what I do. And I'm really good at it. So that's another reason why I'm great at, you know, at the business lounge. And another reason why I was great at my fitness business, because I'm a server, but at the same time, I'm very straightforward. So if I see something ain't going right, like, I'm gonna say something, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very straightforward, but at the same time, like, you already know because of how I operate that if I say something, that means she like, okay, she don't mean it in the wrong way, but you know, she mean I need to do this. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm that person that I don't know. I've always been, I'm gonna say that boot camp type of person, but still with that mentality that hey, I'm making sure you're good.
So and what would you say you bring?
What do I bring?
Yeah, to the partnership, because it takes two. Y'all
both definitely, yeah.
Stuff.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, it definitely takes two. I think that's one thing that you know, we attracted about each other in the beginning. We certain saw certain qualities in each other that we felt like we could do something major. Because anytime when you think about doing something major, it's going to be something bigger than you. You know what I mean? So when we saw that in each other and we kind of like elaborated on, like, she didn't know who I was. I really didn't know who she was, you know what I mean? But I have a long history of leadership, you know what I'm saying, with my brand and the things that I've been through with growing myself as a businessman. You know, those things, when they met, you know what I'm saying, where, I mean, all of my development and meets where she's at with her brand and building everything, man, it meshes, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think what I bring to the table is just totally understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like, being like, I'm an alpha male. I'm used to being an alpha male, but being with an alpha woman, you know what I'm saying? It definitely takes knowing who you are, and in a strong sense. Not saying that, you know what I'm saying, like my opinions or anything that I'm doing is less than. It's about being able to understand, like, look, this is my equal right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
He is not the threat.
Yeah. So it's like the things I've done in my career, man, nobody can take that from me. I've done some monumental things. And it's crazy because we look back through each other's portfolio all the time. But I mean, I'm the type of guy, you know, I respect the fact that I have a strong woman. That's really what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? So now that I have it, it's like, don't let, you know what I'm saying, like myself or my ego, you know what I'm saying, come against that, because being a public figure, you know what I'm saying, being an entertainer, being a model, being an actor, you know what I'm saying, being able to network and attract people, you know what I'm saying, it comes with a lot, you know what I mean? And being in a relationship with somebody that has that same chemistry, that same power as that, you know what I'm saying, it comes with a lot, you know what I'm saying, because, you know what I'm saying, you have to be on one accord and understand the bigger picture of what you're looking for, you know what I'm saying? So I think by me going through my development as a young man, turning into a man, you know what I'm saying, like having kids, been married before, you know what I'm saying, I've learned, like you said earlier, I've learned those lessons. I've learned a lot with the relationships that I've been a part of, you know what I'm saying, taking it and going forward. So I think what I bring to this relationship, I mean, not only am I a visionary, I'm a man that I know what I want, you know what I'm saying? I've been striving, I've been praying and asking God for certain things, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, so you get to a point where certain things just make sense. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, so I know this is God, you know what I'm saying, doing, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, even with, we've experienced the people who we felt like, no, not even that we felt, but people that like kind of like don't agree with the union or the way it happened, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, it's like, I don't even like explaining it no more, because it's so hard to explain when it's something that was just, you know what I'm saying? It's like you wasn't in control of it. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
It was like something I've never experienced, something I can't even explain, you know what I'm saying? But Ro and I definitely have a lot in common. You know what I'm saying? Like her story went her way. She went through everything she went through. You know what I'm saying? I went through a lot, you know what I'm saying? Not even thinking that, you know, I would even be here to even experience like opportunity of being with my person, you know what I'm saying? You know, thinking that, you know, I wasn't going the right path, or because I stepped into entrepreneurship early. I stepped into entrepreneurship at 15 years old with modeling. You know what I mean? And I had a lot against me then. A lot of people telling me like, you don't know what you're doing. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And also I left Alabama. You know what I'm saying? And ventured off and went to a whole nother state to pursue my goals, because I knew what I wanted to do. And I don't know if Black Thought.
Oh, we still, yeah, awesome. We still see you, like I said, man. It's awesome. You know, I look at this season, as a born again. You know how when the Bible said, when Jesus said we must be born again, I believe this is a born again experience for everybody. relearning a lot of stuff that we thought was right. But now we just relearning. That's all we done. We just relearning life all over again. And it's a beautiful thing.
Right.
Sit down and learn. So this is a born again experience. And I'm not got some questions for y'all. I know we're talking about a lot of stuff, but I know Ro wanted to ask this question. The question I'm going to ask you, the second one was, what was your first impression of each other? So being a gentleman that I am, let the lady go first.
So that's why I wanted to answer it, because that was so funny to me. So when I first saw him, when he was coming to the lounge, I was like, who is this dude? Because I mean, dressed to the nines. Why his hair match his outfit? Why his outfit match his hair? I'm like, why is everything matching? And it's dark outside. This nigga got on shades, but he rocking it. Like it all worked. And I'm like, who is this guy? So when he came to the lounge, my first impression was like, he is well put together, but let me see what he got to say. And so when he first came to the lounge, we were talking about, partnership, like how can the lounge benefit him and how can he benefit the lounge. And so that's originally how we got connected. But my first impression was, who is this dude?
And mine was somewhat similar. Like she said, that's what I mean. We was, like I said, we was just two entrepreneurs showing up. You know what I'm saying? Looking for opportunities to expand each other's brand. And that was the initial thing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no me hitting on her or she trying to come on to me. It none of that happened. I know that's the typical thing. Like, okay, he had to like say something, but it wasn't. It wasn't like that. And I mean, in the beginning, I thought bro was like this, like bougie, like blonde or something. Like she. I mean, I don't know. It was just like the way she's moving or something. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no ill tension there. It wasn't nothing. Even when we bumped heads, it was at that point, it was like a mere misunderstanding. But you know what I'm saying? Like we still reconnected after that. And it was just pure intentions, man. Like, you know, she reached out with some help to move a refrigerator. And I think that was my initial that was our first outing. That was my first outing, like helping, like she had, got this U-Haul and stuff. And so I had to drive the U-Haul and do all the manual labor. And it was a whole thing. We shared some really good laughs that day. And it was really a signal for me, like, stay away from this woman. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? The team was like, Mr. You just going back for more. You know what I'm saying? Because it was the timing and everything is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. It wasn't nothing that we was forcing. It was the timing, the energy, everything was just, it was like a puzzle that it wasn't nothing stopping it. You know what I'm saying? It was just genuine time that we were spending at first. You know what I'm saying? And everything else just kind of like just happened like magic.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome, man. That's what's up right there. Just when expecting to just walk right into
being
it.
Being in flow. That's what being in flow looks like.
But
in flow.
It's a real thing though, for real though, dog. It's right. Like if you look at you study anything, it's like everything is like circling. Everything is constantly moving. Everything. You know what I'm saying? Like atoms, electrons, the smallest thing that you can't even see is right in front of you is like constantly moving, you know what I'm saying? But until you get focused, you know what I'm saying, on your definite purpose and who you are and the elements around you, even people, you know what I'm saying? The things that are circling around you, that's the things that are making you or breaking you.
That's it. I know you mentioned something about leadership, and that's something that's very important to me as well. Leadership, having yourself together, especially as a man. I believe a man should have himself together. That's how I believe in that too, because we come through growing all the time.
Like what is happening? Like that's a big thing, right? Like what is having it together? Like whoever has it all together without no like issues or no problems or nothing. It's like that's a life thing. You always trying to get something together, right?
Yeah, because you striving every day.
Yeah.
Like I said, we constantly learning different stuff every day. Like I read the book, The Alchemist. That's one of a famous book by Paulo Coelho. He said, and remember back in the day how we would say, I'm looking forward to the future. We always say that. But in The Alchemist, it says, don't worry about it. You correct your present. once you correct your present, it lets you know that the future will take care of itself. Because right now
we're living in the future right now. You're actually your thoughts and everything right now, everything that you're doing right now is creating your future, fam. It's like we're creatures, we're made of God, man. He made us, he gave us so many powers. A lot of us not even tapping into them. So we're not even 100% beings, human. It's like, but you really have to tap. When they say tap in, you have to tap in. You know what I'm saying? Like understanding like who you really are, what we come from, what we're made of. You know what I'm saying? Like our minds and stuff, man. It's like people are like zombies nowadays, bro. It's like wake up, bro.
And not being free thinkers. You know, we was taught to believe in everything, not believing this, believing that, but never taught things for ourselves. That's just for example, y'all talking about your relationship, how people was saying, would say this, but you didn't worry about what people think. You know, that's another thing too. We worry about what people think so much. What they gonna say, what they gonna think.
You're not ready for success, man. If you still care about what other people say about you like that, bro, you're not ready for it. You're not ready for this journey the journey that we on. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? You're not ready for it because you need to backstep a little bit.
Right. That's it. You know, break away from that, and that's what it's all about. It's becoming free thinkers, constantly evolving. That word been going around lately. Evolving, learning different stuff. It's open-minded. Having that open-minded. A lot of time we get to a certain point, we get closed-minded, but what about being open-minded? Open to creativity, open to new ideas. Because the person you meet is going to bring something to the table every time. Be open to change, being open to different directions. Because the person that comes in your life is always going to bring something different. And a lot of times, guys, they keep that same mindset. Get out, explore, get out, see things. And the woman that you meet, every woman is not the same. Every woman is not hip hop. Every woman is not rap. A woman, she made like classical music. She's straight R&B, straight jazz. You have to get out and explore it because interesting people love interesting people. You're interesting, people gonna love you. People drawn to interesting people. But you get saying, what we gonna do now? What we gonna do now? That get bored. People don't want to be around you that long. What we gonna do now? What we gonna do now? That's boring. That sucks.
Bro, the scary thing for me is like, I think some people, they put God in a box.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying? And I think, you know what I'm saying, some of my experiences going to church, you know, I felt like that. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it was a limit to God. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I wasn't doing this or doing that, God wasn't going to favor me or he wasn't going to bless me or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just think, you know what I'm saying, people put, what you talked about earlier, Firma, as far as like being open to new ideas is like, my relationship with God, man, I've seen God do some amazing stuff right in front of me. Like, some stuff that the average person just probably wouldn't believe because they didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't happen to them. So they don't condone it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So it's like, I think with a lot of people, they put limits on God. Like, okay, well, God, like I read the Bible and God said stuff happened like this, but it's like God is God. He's doing those same miracles, but he's not doing them the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still sending messengers. He's still blessing people. He's still doing things in a way that we as humans, same time, we just can't fathom it because it's God doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't, his timing is not our timing. Like the way he took her whole life and my whole life and everything we've been through, boom, and y'all, I'm gonna put y'all together because I see y'all heart's desire. And at this, you know what I'm saying? Like, that God only can make ties like that or make moves or put things in situations and align stuff up where the other person probably was somewhere else and they just wasn't there able to see what was being shown to you. You know what I'm saying?
So with that, just thinking about like y'all experiences and what y'all been through, do y'all think that with y'all first marriages that God put y'all together or it was kind of y'all put y'all together?
Nah, that's what I could say, especially from my first marriage, that this right here, I ain't do this because I wasn't even trying. Because I'm telling you, when things was going south with my marriage, I was like, you know what? I ain't ever get married again. I ain't ever trying to learn nobody over again. Like this right here, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like it's too much. Right. But when he came into my life, it wasn't even work. It wasn't even like we weren't even trying. Like it was so like, easy and so like I started learning him and falling in love with him and not even trying. It had like it was no effort. With I could say with my first one, like it was like I know that was me. I know because I already know what my mindset was at that time. So I know it was me, and I know I put myself through that. But you know what I'm saying? Like I don't regret anything because I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? And all of those things that I learned and what I went through, I'm taking that and I'm building better. You know what I'm saying? So and my kids, I never regret my kids. Oh, yeah. Like they're here for a reason, they're here for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? But for me and my actions, like yeah, all I know is I didn't do this for real. Like seriously. I did not do this.
Yeah, I know people probably want to hear the contrary. Like, yeah, he bro, it wasn't me neither. I was in a whole situation too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and man, it's like just the way stuff just. I mean, it's like I don't even know what to say. The way stuff just align, man. You know what I'm saying?
We'll take question three now. We'll take question three now.
Okay,
we'll take the woman that you had not like the same. Like y'all wasn't really seeing eye to eye. Y'all couldn't make this connection. Like was y'all kind of going through similar situations that kind of gravitated y'all together, and that's kind of.
Neither one of us were in relationships that we wanted to be in. I put it like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But it's still, we were not trying to like connect with each other like that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
makes sense. That makes
sense. But you gotta think about I call this the Abraham and Ishmael thing. Ishmael was born out of flesh, Isaac was born out of promise. A lot of times we have the Ishmael experience instead of waiting on Isaac. Isaac was the promise.
This ain't that. I'm gonna tell you, like,
now
I love it. I love that because it's like, and that's something that I had to mature through earlier in life. You know what I mean? Like being able to look beyond the flesh.
Right. That's it.
And sometimes that's with the experience too. You just gotta get down deep within grit and dirty, and sometimes really get to the bulk of it, you know what I'm saying, to see what's really going on, you know what I'm saying? So, man, that's one thing I had to mature past myself, like the whole body of a woman, the whole mischief of it, the whole misconception, bro, you know what I'm saying? And I think one of the ladies said that earlier, you know what I'm saying? It's a plus, you know what I'm saying, when you know what I'm saying, you find that person that's like beautiful to your eye, you know what I'm saying? It's pleasing to your eye. And I think that's, you know, even that is still it's deeper than the flesh, you know what I'm saying? Because it's about the way she moves, it's about the tone of her voice, it's about the way she blinks, the way she, you know what I'm saying, the way she masterminds with me. You know what I'm saying? It's so much deep than that respectfully that makes up a build of a woman, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you just look past the physical and get that.
You still want to look at the. I mean,
yeah, you still. I mean, what I'm saying, yeah, you still want to do that because you don't want to. I ain't saying you don't want to lower your standards, but when it's like when you know better, you do better. That's like I learned from that experience. I took that L and I learned from it, so I know what to do on the next go round, on what to look for, what to discern. Which, like I mentioned earlier, you're gonna discern what's the thing and what's not the thing. It's like, okay, I'm gonna say this, like when with John the Baptist and Jesus, when Elizabeth and Mary was pregnant at the same time, they said that the baby leaped. You know what I'm saying? The baby leaped when they connected with each other. So if that baby in you is not leaping, when y'all come in contact with each other, then hey, it ain't nothing else. But if that baby leap, it's something else. It's just that connection. It's just that connection.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's amazing how we connect, man. You know,
right.
So it's like it's an invisible. It's not so invisible because people see it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's a thing that exists between us you know what I'm saying, that we really not like so much in control of a lot of people may think this is not something that we're forcing. You know what I'm saying? It's like every day we live like freaking rock stars, like low key, like we're not clocking in. Nobody's, you know what I'm saying? It's like this is all we're both driven. You know what I'm saying? We're both passionate about what we do. We both love what we do. You know what I'm saying? We both love helping people and seeing people and giving people an opportunity and a platform to be great. We both enjoy it. We both seen it. Like, you know what I'm saying? When she's on stage speaking and the way she moves people, and it's like, yes, it's like, I'd be like, things like that be like confirmation. And then when I have an opportunity to be on stage speaking and stuff like that, she's in the crowd, like, it's like,
that's my dude.
That's what we doing, because we both have an opportunity to be influencers in the community. So us coming together, that is what makes us a power couple. We're not the type of people that's looking at power like, oh, it's about how much money we got in the bank or what we got. It's about how we can influence the community and how we can like change and inspire people. You know what I'm saying? That's our genuine purpose. And God is He's favoring us, man. This is amazing.
That's it. Let's talk about that. The inspiring each other. I believe that mates are supposed to inspire one another. I do believe that.
Bro. Disrespect. It's about respecting each other. Like who Ro is. I respect this woman, y'all, because real talk. Like, it's a respect both ways. I think she respects like where I come from, even though every day we're learning new stuff about each other. Like, man, like this woman is really dope, and then we be laying in the bed messaging each other. You know what I'm saying? Telling each other how dope each other is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's things like that just, man, how do you find that? It's like, I can't make this up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a shared energy, dog.
Well, so ask y'all this. You know, you hear a lot of people in the world who always say, you know, you're going to have arguments and you're not going to get along with each other. Bump that. If you know it's together, you're going to have the time of your life. You're going to make each other laugh. You're going to make each other, you know what I'm saying? I just believe that people think all this stuff, that can't be real. It is real, because that's something y'all both want, that y'all both cherish. Y'all both, encourage each other, hold each other accountable. And hold each other accountable, because okay, I want you to take it to the next. I want you to take it to the next level. Now, we've been having couples on here lately. They just been inspiring each other, and I love that. They don't take. Go ahead.
I feel like they know what each other deserve, right? Like, it's like, I know what you deserve, so I'm gonna give you this because I see what you're doing, and I know what you deserve. You deserve this, and this. So I'm gonna do this for you. So I feel like that, like all the couples that we've been running into and talking to, like they had this deserving spirit. Like, this person been through so much, they deserve this. So here, and so I think that's really dope. It's dope.
It is.
When you be like, this person deserved the world, this person deserved everything because they done went through a whole bunch.
Yeah, because we're having couples. So the couple had on here yesterday. I mean, not the couple had on here yesterday, but Rachel, she's the founder of What's Up Dallas magazine, and how her and her husband, they support one another. Her husband just started his business. She got her business, and they sit and they talk, they collab. He said, babe, I know you're doing this, you got this. I'm doing this, and we're gonna do this together. That's what people need to hear. They need to hear how we're gonna do this together. It should be that me against you, me and you against the world mentality. That's how it should be. But you inspire one another. And I'm gonna ask you this: being a life of entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs, they start their day early. So take us through your journey on how y'all start your day. Is it a set time y'all start your day? People want to know, how do y'all do y'all day as entrepreneurs?
A typical day for us, we wake up, we work out.
Okay.
We work out again. We get ready for the day and we head to the lounge. And we normally have like a day full of meetings, and then we have some type of events that evening. So whether it's networking events at the lounge or networking events out in the community, one of the two. But that's a typical day for us.
But it's like a beautiful whirlwind. You know what I'm saying? to see how we, you know what I'm saying, like we take showers and one person in the shower, the other person in the tub. And by the time I get out the shower, she's, you know, since she's getting out drying off, she's putting her makeup, I'm lining my hair. It's like everything is like we're spinning in a world together. Nothing else exists. You know what I'm saying?
We so it's like do everything.
Yeah, it's like it's like it's his and hers everything. You know what I mean? Like even like our meetings, like we have one calendar. You know what I mean? So we're always booking each other's stuff around within each other's stuff. So you see one of us, the other one is not far, or the other one is like behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's what you get with us, and we're two quality people. You know what I'm saying? Like we love amenities. We look for quality. Our lifestyle is luxury. I mean, and at the same time, we're humble. You know what I'm saying? We, you know what I'm saying? We doing stuff. We going out in the community, supporting people in all type of conditions. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and we're not complaining. We love doing this. You know what I'm saying? So, and we look good doing it. So it's like it's just a whole marketing. It's a marketing over marketing. You know what I'm saying? And it's genuine love too. So I mean, I don't know how you not win with that.
And I can tell that Ro is just so happy, like she can be illuminating all over the place. And I just love to see it. I just love it.
Yes, and I'm asking this question. So I got a lot of other questions. Let me ask this question. How much do y'all think y'all understand each other?
A lot.
Yeah. A lot.
So when you hear somebody say like they're the male version or the female version of each other, that's literally what we are, like for real. So like I know some people say that they don't want their significant other to be exactly like them because they couldn't handle that. Well, from coming from a relationship where I had the total opposite, this right here for me is refreshing because we're on the same page. We like the same things down to the music, down to how we do our days, down to how we do pretty much do anything. It's like we have this vibe that where I already know what he wants right now. I already know what he needs right now because if I need it, that means he needs it. So it's like we're on that same wavelength. So I mean,
it's something to see though, man. It's crazy. I mean, answer you guys' question. It blows our mind. You know what I'm saying? To like how much we understand each other unspokenly. You know what I'm saying? Like it just be little things that happen and it be so simultaneous. It's like but to my mind it registers like it's just confirmations, man. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you get to a crossroad in life and sometimes you wonder, you know what I'm saying? Like we're human, we're not perfect. We worry about things and we want to make sure that we're doing things on a certain path and way, but God will answer those prayers, man. I'm telling you guys, it's really no other way around it. You know what I'm saying? He knows your true heart, the deeper desire that you ain't even told nobody, but it's like lying right there, just a little mustard seed in your mind, something that you want really bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? That's God. He gonna have to make sure that you ready for it.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So it's a whole thing, man. And I think we're learning each other every day, even though we may think or we have these great moments and these like magical moments where our minds are just intertwined. We're still learning, things about each other every day. You know what I'm saying? And it's like to be entrepreneurs and to have our mindsets, even when we argue, our arguments are not little mind arguments. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're debating on big things. These are life-changing things. So, you know what I'm saying? So I guess anybody would have to just really like experience us, you know what I'm saying? Or see our day to day or something like that. But you know what I'm saying? Like you have to understand and know power when you see it. So, whether they see it now or later, I mean, we here. So
I heard they.
So it's always about making stuff happen. Setting goals. Let's talk about that. Setting goals. So you actually sit down, set goals as a unit and as well against the solo too. So how about that? I don't never hear a lot of couples always set goals. It's just like it is what it is. But do y'all actually sit down, write out things, set goals in order to take it to the next level?
Yes. So like we talk about what we want each for ourselves business wise, And then personal wise, like what are our future goals? And I'm one of those people, I live in my future. So it's like what God has already given me, I'm gonna say 3 to 5 years from now, I'm already living in there. And so I needed a partner who could think on that level so they wouldn't be messing up my goals. You know what I'm saying? So they wouldn't put negative energy on what I'm trying to bring to manifestation. And he gets it. Like he gets it. Like just this week, we walked off some amazing goals together on what we want, not just for ourselves, but for our families as well.
Mind blowing, bro.
So, but yeah, we do that.
That's it. And I know y'all both got children as well. Blended families. How do y'all operate the blended family?
So it's still in the progress. It's still in the progress.
My family are over the place.
That part. I say it's us plus 6. Okay. Okay. Together we have 6. And it all boys and 1 girl, okay?
But I know y'all inspired them to do great things because that's the next generation. You know what I'm saying? Especially with you, Mr. You, you know what I'm saying, with your sons, whatever. You want them to take it to the next level, inspiring your children. I love when I had Mr. Hernandez on here with his daughter. And I love how he got his family on point. His daughter, she cuts hair. She does music. And how he said his daughter came to him and said she wanted to do music. He didn't tell her, you don't need to do that. He told her, I want to see what you got. That's what children need to hear. They say, hey, Mom, Dad, I had this great idea, I want to do this. You're not going to tell them, oh, you shouldn't do that. You're going to inspire them. That's going to take them, that's going to like, wow, my parents inspired me and they support me. And I love to hear that. Take it to the next level.
And I think that's a great thing to you know what I'm saying, show, because as a kid, I wasn't taught entrepreneurship. Sure. In school, they don't teach entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? So I guess to have parents that are entrepreneurship, like a lot of people, I think I heard somebody say this earlier, like people see us, I think Anna said this earlier, like people see us out networking, see us out doing events, they think we just always just partying, like we always just having a good time, but it's like that's work for us, you know what I'm saying? So I guess to show like the next generation and the generation after that and teaching them that, you know what I'm saying, like you can really live your dreams, you know what I'm saying? You really can like work hard, pursue that, you know what I'm saying? It's like
work can be fun.
Work can be fun. It's like you don't have to like clock in or wear this uniform and, you know what I'm saying, fight with these same coworkers. No, you can be out here and be free and still like live a great life with entrepreneurship. I mean, even though it's a lot of work, you know what I'm saying? It's like not taking that from the equation, but somehow it's like we laugh about this all the time. Somehow we was able to turn out like what was work is our lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So it's for the both of us. So it's like, I mean, man, it's bliss. It's truly bliss.
Like it works. Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, I was telling somebody this the other day. Your gift make room for you. It's not about your degree. It's not about your name. The Bible says your gift will make room for you. And that's what it's all about. Utilize your gift. Everybody has a gift. They just have to utilize it. Now, some people don't utilize their gift because of fear and worrying about what people think, but everybody got a gift.
Yeah. But that's what we here for. That's what we here for as entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of people they haven't tapped into their talent. They haven't tapped into their what they. Because a lot of people come to us is like they see us, they be like, bro, how do y'all do this? Like what? It's like we just took what we was naturally our natural gift, and we just turned it into a business. It's like, how is that so hard for people? Like we naturally love to do. It's like some people, I think they probably overthinking it, right? Yeah, they probably overthinking it, but it's something that you was put on this earth to do, that you do it so naturally that you don't even know that you're probably doing it for free.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what it is? All the fear. You know, we was on the talk on how to live on a physical surface. We was on the talk to see, smell, taste, hear, and stuff like that. But we was never, you mentioned earlier about tapping in. We was never taught to tap in past the physical, because we get so caught up on the. You look in the Bible. Look, when when God promised Abraham a son, he started looking at his physical appearance, or he was up in age, and Sarah laughed. And look at Moses. Moses said, "I'm a stutterer," but God still he sent Aaron. You know what I'm saying, to speak for him. It's like a lot of times we get so caught up in the physical aspect. I don't have the money, you know. I gotta get. Let me get the money.
God don't care about no money. God is like work that thing.
But that's
I done seen it, bro.
God don't need our help.
He don't need that. He don't need none of this stuff that man is making.
He just want us to be willing.
Man,
willing and obedient.
Like
Isaiah 1:19.
Bro, having an open heart, an open mind, man, God will work through you.
What's our next question?
All right, next question is, and I want to talk about this too. We know it's kind of like a juicy question. Okay, how do y'all feel when others find your partner attractive?
Oh, that's a good one because they both is like in the limelight. That's a really good question.
It is. All right. So let me tell you something. Especially coming from a relationship where that was not a factor at all. I kind of felt like, you know, I was in high school again. Because I was like, wait, what? I was like, so these women coming like this? Like, wow. So at first I was like, because you know, everybody wants most people want somebody that everybody want, right? Because you be like, yeah, because your partner is dope, your partner look good. But yeah, it's a lot to go with that. It's a lot. I ain't gonna say it. I ain't even gonna say it's easy. It's not, because like it takes me to another level every time. It really does. Like, because I have to realize who I am and stand on that. And then I have to double back and have faith in him. Because like when you see stuff, I'm telling you, we done seen a lot of stuff. Just like time that we've been together, like the women ain't got no chill, man. They got no chill.
They gonna try it. They gonna try it.
Hey, they will. Bruh, it's fine. I get it, bruh. It's fine. But I mean, I was like, I wasn't ready. I'm gonna tell you straight up for real. In the beginning, I was not ready. But I feel like, I'm getting stronger and better by the day. But that topic right there, that's a hard one. That
was a good one.
But you know what? At the end of the day, go ahead, Shay.
That was a good one because I can see that, like, being a bit of a struggle. You know, like, you got this person that's fine, and then you got this other person that's fine, and you like, you don't supposed to be looking at my girl like that, though. You ain't supposed to be looking at my man like that, though. You know, so I really can see the struggle because y'all really both people that have well-established platforms, well-known, like everything. So I bet that definitely is. Yeah. And then I bet y'all get a lot of laughs too. You know, people probably think between y'all, and you know, y'all. It's a lot y'all get to laugh at.
It'd be funny because let me tell you something. Women nowadays are definitely more bold than the guys used to be back in the day. Yeah. Like women are definitely more bolder, but I think it's just about I spoke on like respect. I spoke on so I spoke on so many different levels of what it takes to be in a relationship. And when you feel like when you have your person, man, it's so much more that falls into place and it goes in consideration when you making moves. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, I went through a whole journey too. Like I was telling Furman earlier, it's about your whole development, man, and just knowing who you are and what you need as a man at this point in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like it's either keep making the same mistakes or, you know what I'm saying, at some point recognize your mistakes, have some accountability, and fly straight. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I feel. I mean, I feel like a lot of the acts that we have come our way, they gestures. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff be funny. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like guys sending them to us just to give us a laugh. You know what I'm saying? Because some of them
give me some muscle, baby.
Yeah. But the thing is like I guess that's a whole muscle right there because it's like when you a person that you at, you know what I'm saying, you like way up here and you thinking like, okay, I'm the shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And God send you your mate, and it's like it's almost like a humbling thing, right? Like, okay, well, this person just is nice looking and moving around just like me, so
they equally know.
Try to understand what's happening. You know what I'm saying? But I think what Ro was looking for in her life in a dude, I feel like I fulfill that, and I'm I'm confident in that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no insecurity in that at all.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So any guys that come away, or any guys that walk through, look at got away, yeah.
But you know what, most guys be, you know, I'm gonna say that a lot of the guys envy you. They probably a lot of guys would envy you for real.
That's been all my life.
Same thing with Rose as well also, because she gonna say like, look at this man that she got. They envy you, like, dang, look at this dude that he confident, he bold, he's a visionary, he's a leader. They envy you. You know what I'm saying? So they know, and I wish I was in her position. So it's like when you doing your thing,
That's probably what it is, because they be
women like
come in between. They be like, okay, well, look, how she looking, how she moving. It must be because of her dude or whatever, or vice versa. So like, I want to be in that position.
They do.
I wish them well with that, man. This is gonna be a hard one, because when you with somebody, the ultimate definition of being with your person, bro, you're not connected to this person in one area.
Right.
You're connected to this person on so many different levels. It's like
a circuit board, like a big circuit board.
Bro, if somebody could come along and break that easy, somebody was lying. It was false in the first beginning. Somebody had motives or something. Because when you experience something like this magnitude and you let somebody break it easily on some stuff like that, your mind wasn't ready.
I know, right? Because you know when you got a good thing, you ain't going nowhere. You know
now that's deep right there.
Because a man know what he want. You know what I'm saying? A man know what he want. And you got a good thing, you think you gonna leave that? Hell no, I ain't gonna leave that. For what? Some garbage? And that's how I never understood that. You know, I never understood how some dudes can go up here, but then they lower themselves down to trash. I never understood that. Like, that don't make no sense to me. Like, why would you downgrade yourself like that?
Don't know how they do themselves like that.
But when a man know he got a good thing at home, he ain't going nowhere. He's not. Most definitely he ain't going, because he know that, hey, that's my queen. That's what I'm with. You can throw all you want to throw at me. Okay, look at Joseph. Joseph in the Old Testament. When powerful wife tried to come at him, he went the other way. So you got to do your thing, go your other way.
Got to fight them temptation.
But you know, a lot of times people they want what you got, because they know they got a good thing. They want what you got, and that's what they want. They want what you got. So
I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. I've been in Dallas going on 2 years.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm at a good pace, man. Like, to have that part out of the way, because there's a lot of single people here in Dallas, you know what I'm saying? So for me to have that, like, God bless me to, you know what I'm saying, like, come to this market, get all of that part out of the way, so now I can laser focus on building an empire with this person. Bro, let's go.
That's
it. You know what I'm saying? Like, 5 years, I'm giving us 5 years, man. Y'all better hold your head, because I'm telling you, I ain't here to play. She ain't here to play. I think we just gonna do some amazing things, like with the community and some stuff we working on behind the scenes with developing some other brands. We got TV shows coming up. We got shows at events at the lounge every weekend. We got workshops going. We got so much stuff going, man. It's just about being consistent at this point and continue to show up, man, for real.
Being productive. I like that. So y'all sit down, like, so you mentioned a 5-year plan. I mean, I heard a guy talk about that. He said when him and his wife first got together, they sat down, they planned. They had a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year on what they want to go. I like when I hear people talk like that, and they about their business. It takes 2 willing people to do that, and y'all 2 willing people. What? It's gonna work. So y'all 2 willing people to make that happen.
Yeah, she's definitely more the planner than me. I'm probably more of like, I'd have these visions and stuff, but she's definitely a planner, man. Like, her technique with how she organizes and puts systems in place and all of this stuff, man. That's what I needed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because everything is foundation, everything is structure, everything is system and programs. You know what I'm saying? So you take talent and you introduce that to the market. I mean, you got power team.
Oh, she got to turn her light back on.
All right, what's our next question?
All right, next question is, I want to talk about legacy. You know, at the end of the day, after it's all said and done, how do y'all want y'all legacy to be?
So for me, like my ultimate goal, especially with the current business that I have now, is to build it to sell it, right?
Okay.
I mean, I got my offspring, right? But that they don't necessarily have the same passion that I have. So I'm not forcing them to take on the business that I have. But what I do want to have for them is a trust. So where they do have something that they can use to when they realize who they are and what they want to do, they will have fun to be able to do that. And on top of that is, of course, real estate. Real estate for them to leverage. They don't necessarily have to live there or whatever the case may be, but they can leverage it. So for me, legacy is getting those things in place so that they can have something that they can eat off of while we're here and while we're gone.
Okay. All right.
I mean, that goes both ways, man. That's pretty much my whole desire too. My kids are still a little bit younger than hers, but I have 3 boys, and you know how I feel. I'm a man, so of course I want my sons to, they all have my last name, so they all, what I'm saying, like I see the swag in them. You know what I'm saying? I see they little youths. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to, as they continue to grow, me supporting them more and really finding out their talents and teaching them about entrepreneurship, because like that's what my brand is built on. My brand is built on trades and services. I feel like that'd go the distance. You know what I'm saying? Like doing photography, doing branding shoots. You know what I'm saying? Like those things like that are like enrichment that can be carried for, and having style, image. You know what I'm saying? Being conscious of, what I'm saying, your appearance. Things of that, like those are things that should be taught and embedded in going forward into generations. You know what I'm saying? Like those like qualities, and those really what my brand is built off of is, you know what I'm saying, those certain resources and things that I feel like that are needed. You know what I'm saying? So I look forward to my kids developing and watching them grow, man, and really, you know what I'm saying, continue to build the legacy, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm real conscious of that. We talk about that a lot, you know what I'm saying, with the decisions and the things that we're doing right now, setting things into place with making sure that, you know what I'm saying, the Little U's and the Simmons and all of, we looking at it as a collective, right? We don't look at it as separate. And that was a deal breaker for me and some of my past relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wasn't looking at, you know what I'm saying, like, they just looking at, you know what I'm saying, just one kid. They're like, no, I got more than one. So it's like I'm looking at,
right.
So my drive is different. My goals are different. You know what I'm saying? My mindset is different. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you know, so I'm really definitely excited about, you know what I'm saying, all of the possibilities and just growing a strong foundation. And I think it starts with her and I, you know what I'm saying? Because we have a lot of the same morals, a lot of the same qualities, you know what I'm saying? So we definitely want to make sure everybody is good, especially if you're connected to us. So,
man, that's what's up. So, Shay, have anything?
Oh no, you know, that's dope. I think that the communication is key. You know, like, and when you don't have to be struggling to try to get a point across, everything just runs so smooth. Like, it's like the communication is everything. Like,
that
even
piece.
with all the relationships that I've heard about that's been being successful, everything coming out, like the communication is like A1. Like, whether it hurt, whatever happened, it's like we gonna communicate these. So I really think that's a beautiful thing when people can get to that level of maturity as well. You gotta reach that level. Like, you know, it's nothing that come overnight. You know, it is nothing that come overnight. We all have to reach that level of maturity. Because it's something, like I heard Rose say, and in my mind, I'm like, I really haven't reached that level of maturity yet. And, you know, it's like certain things, I'm like, wow, you know, it's gonna take time for me. And it's like, that's okay. Like, people have to realize wherever you are in a relationship or wherever you are, that's okay. It's okay. Like,
yeah.
So I really like it. Like, that communication, y'all both operated in y'all purpose. Y'all both very driven people, especially me knowing Ro. Like, when she put her mind to something, she do it. And that's great to be around that type of energy. That's gonna keep you motivated. That's gonna keep you going. So I definitely love it. I just love to see her happy. I've been around long enough. I feel like she like my big sister, like a friend to me. So I just love to see her happy, love to see her thriving.
She's really dope, man. A lot of people don't even really understand how dope. Like Ro is dope, man. It's like when you talk about
man, she really is like
an all around person. Like she's not like this person that y'all can just put in a box. Like she does what you don't think. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
It's like
I know, like she talked when we talked like we had already met each other. It's like we already knew each other, and she talked to me for 2 hours for free.
Really?
A session that she usually charged for. We sat there and talked for 2 hours. Like we knew each other. Like, and she really the reason. She the person that really pushed me out to get my own business. Like if me and her would have never really had that conversation that day at the business lounge, I probably would have never just risked and got my own spot and did my own space. But she was like, well, you know, you can do this, but if you really want to do it, like if you really know that's what you want to do, then do it. And she's the doer. Like it's different being around a person that's a doer versus somebody that's just talking, y'all. Like a person that's a doer, yeah, they're gonna hold you accountable. Like, did you come through with that? Did you? And that's the type of people I like being around. Like I like being around the people that's gonna hold me accountable for achieving my goals.
You're gonna grow, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for my flowers. I appreciate that. And I love seeing your growth too. I love it, man. Watching you is amazing. I'm like, yeah, I knew she had it. I knew it. So yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
And happy birthday again.
Thank you guys.
I doing shots.
My phone gonna die. I don't know my phone gonna die.
Oh wow, man. So we well, like I said, we thank y'all for hanging out with us here on tonight. I'm trying to pull up the comment section, but my phone is acting crazy right now. So
yeah, mine too. Like, yeah, the thing kept shutting off, so I couldn't see the comments.
Yeah, I think on Lifetime there's some pulled up. Oh, I got a couple of comments. Let's see. Marlon said, hey, why I keep pulling up? It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think on a lot of things they be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's crazy. I want to read some of the comments on the comment section, but it's acting up. It's crazy.
We probably busted in there. We went viral.
Yeah, because I couldn't even get nothing. But like I said, I know it's great times. I know we about to get this year's almost over with. So
that's crazy, right?
It is. So do y'all have everything already? I know y'all already got things mapped out for this past couple, 2 months, whatever we got left, 3 months we got left. So what's the next I know y'all got the lounge going on. So what's going on right now in the lounge that people wants to know about?
Everything.
So what we have coming up now is a Global Entrepreneurship Week. So November 19th, we have a panel that will be at the lounge and we'll be talking about entrepreneurship. And then we also have an entrepreneur fashion show that's coming up in January. We have partnered with the Deck and Redbird Mall. So we will be bringing that to the community. And yeah, so I mean, those are just a couple of things we got coming up.
Yeah, we got some more podcasts coming up. We got
yeah. So we got Bright Girl Media podcast coming up November 16th, I want to say. If you follow us on Instagram at Love Language Between Us, you'll be able to see everything that we have coming up. Also see us a little bit day in and day out on how we do our lives together, business, love, and everything in between.
We're actually panelists on a DFW,
the Global Entrepreneurship
Small Business Expo.
Oh, wait, yeah. So, that event is this Saturday, I think.
Yeah, Thursday. It's coming up this
Thursday.
This Thursday, yeah. We are actually panelists on Small Business Expo, DFW Small Business Expo. So.
Oh, that's dope! I went to it last year.
Yeah. So we're going to be there.
What time is it?
It starts at 10 a.m. It's 10 to 6.
Yeah, so we got a full day that day. That's Thursday, I think. Yeah,
Thursday.
And man, we just always out in the community. Like you guys, you know what I'm saying? Like events going on, other business owners, a lot of people that sponsor us, a lot of people that You know what I'm saying? We sponsor vendors. I mean, we try to go to the we only one we like two people, we like one couple, but we try to make our rounds and get out in the community and support people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and so we look forward to that, to getting that support back. You know what I'm saying? So you guys just catch us in the city, man. We always around, like some event, popping in, popping out. Sometimes some events we go to, you know, we don't stay long because we got other events to go to. But I mean, that's our thing, man. That's how we growing. We always trying to support. You know what I'm saying? And we building on that.
And that's what's up. I'm going to read a couple of comments here too. George said, "Love isn't enough. Sometimes, no matter what you do." That's coming from George.
George say, "Love ain't enough."
Yeah, love.
I mean, we in 2022. You gotta.
What he said?
No.
Yeah, he said love isn't enough.
We gotta be a little.
It really is not, though. It's not. Love ain't enough to keep people. Like, if you ain't compatible and you can't even have a conversation with somebody, you can love them all day long. But if y'all can't talk, like, what's love?
That's it. Another comment, he says, "You get comfortable when you get married. Everyone does."
Yeah. But that's a mold that I'm look.
George been divorced.
Look, that's a mold that I already know.
But you know, because I didn't. You said you get comfortable when you get married. Everyone does. You can't say everyone does.
Because I've never been a comfortable person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always excited. You can ask Ro, man. We get up every day. We excited about what's next. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I guess it depends on the relationship that you in. You know what I'm saying? But you can't speak for every relationship like that. We talked about that earlier. That's how people think. You know what I'm saying? But like, our relationship is different. We two extreme. We exciting people. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not old. We're not young. You know what I'm saying? Like, we I don't know.
Hey, like we vibing.
But you know, I heard
we
that.
vibing, baby. You know what I'm saying? We get up everyone. We listen to our Larry June. We good, fam.
Come on.
Yeah, you can't say everyone does. I heard a saying, the Lone Rangers come back in the day, and the Lone Ranger told Tonto that they was in trouble, and Tonto told him, "What do you mean, we, white man?" No, he was saying, "No, you in trouble." So you can't be saying we. Can't be saying that. That means that's you. Can't say everybody else. So
excited, man.
He says, Marlon.
You froze on us, Fernie.
Remember
you froze on us, Fernie.
Yeah. They're going to shut it down. Yeah. From his
end. He froze on us, but definitely.
Hey, Shay, let him know. I don't know if he's going to recover, but just let him know, man, we had a great time. Everything was wonderful. I appreciate y'all having us on.
Yes, and I surely appreciate you guys definitely for tapping in with me and sharing all this wonderful love between you guys. And I just love it so much.
Yes, Black love, man, it exists.
It does, y'all. We gotta want it and we gotta fight for it. We gotta believe in it. We gotta believe in ourselves.
Okay, he back.
So
you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Okay. Yeah, because I was reading the question. He was like, "What about the trying brothers?" I was asking you about that, about brothers that's trying to progress in life.
I mean, it goes all the way back to value, man. You know, I think when you had that right partner, that person that's in your corner, that, I mean, 'cause you know, like Furman, you know, I mean, men big on this. We big on value. You know, so we want to feel appreciated.
Right.
You know I'm saying, like, if you compliment us or show us appreciation on a little small thing, you know what I'm saying, it makes us want to do more. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about, you know, how you word things. But the dudes that's trying, I mean, I know you got those women out here that just beat brothers down. You know what I'm saying? But there's some women out there that show guys that appreciation, and you know what I'm saying, they appreciate the guys that's trying to doing the little small things and trying to build on those. So you just really got to get those quality people in your life. You know, so you got to get those people around you that's praising you, that's lifting you up instead of tearing you down, or just, you know what I'm saying, just like Rose said earlier, nagging you about the little things. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, life is a journey, man, and you definitely want to continue to grow. And I think with growth, you know, so you want to somehow figure out how to get that positive energy around you. So, and having that mate, that's really where it starts. So your mate, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, whoever it is that you're with, that's your biggest influence. That's your partner. That's your business partner. That's it right there. So as long as they're lifting you up, man, and showing you appreciation and vice versa, I mean, that's y'all thing. Whatever worked for your relationship. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one to tell you how to, you know what I'm saying, cater your relationship, but figure out what works for the both of you. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it ain't always the typical situation. So, you know what I'm saying? Whatever works for your relationship.
That's it. George said, I was married 16 years, now divorced. I'm an advocate for Black men going through divorce.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, he married.
So you was married and divorced, and
George,
we'll talk to you about that later.
That's a whole, George is a whole nother section.
Yeah.
I love him. I love George. Look, we'll talk. We'll talk. Listen.
Yeah.
No.
George need a hug.
Like, okay, we're the trying person, with the trying man. How long you trying for? Matters. How long I'm waiting on the progress kind of matter a little bit too. Like, of course, nothing changes right away. Like, the expectation of change ain't right away, but a person do expect some type of progression along the way and want to see consistency. I feel like consistency play a big part of a person believing in you. It's hard for a person to believe in you when you're not consistent. That's like business, owning a business. If a person says you're not consistent in your business and consistent in what you're doing, why would they shop with you? Why would they buy your product? Why would they, do anything? So it's like consistency matter just as much as anything, like all across the board, like in a relationship, the consistency matter. When the consistency starts getting messed up, that's like even with a cake or even with my smoothie. If I don't like the consistency, I ain't gonna drink it.
That part.
That's it. Marlon says, and it's some guys that help and really try. That's coming from Marlon.
I feel like what he's saying, this was something we talked about in our last podcast. It's like a lot of guys can be trying in the wrong direction. Like, for example, like my love language and Rose's love language, they just somehow they go together. You know what I'm saying? Like, without us even doing nothing, it works. You know what I'm saying? But I think for a lot of guys, like, they trying and they doing the wrong things. They're putting out the wrong effort, the wrong energy. So it's like they're getting the result, or they're yielding the return that they're getting because they're doing that same little system, and it's like it's not congruent with whatever their expectations may be. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I want this type of woman, but look at your approach and look how you're, look how you move. You know what I'm saying? So I think it'd be a whole thing. I think it really be a whole thing of, you know what I'm saying, just, you know what I'm saying?
Make sure you learn your part.
That part, because you can be, I'm trying, but you're doing the wrong thing. So it's like you still pushing her further away or something. I don't know, I think I'm saying that right. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like how you can be trying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can be going the wrong way fast.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think, you know what I'm saying, understanding yourself again, and then, you know what I'm saying, just understanding your partner, because you can be thinking like, oh, this woman is all about this, and she's really not. You know, she's looking for what you're not doing. That's the type of woman that she may even be. So you just gotta be a partner and kind of like go in the right direction.
That's it. David Reed, big shout out to David Reed. He said, blessings, brothers and sisters.
Blessings.
Marlon says, you do outgrow people. Me and my fiance are elevating together. We are both entrepreneurs. This shout out, okay, Marlon said, he told him, okay, said Shay's my fiance. Okay.
Okay, Shay.
Marlon says, I support Shay. You can ask her. Okay, he said support you. Then he said, happy birthday.
Shay. Yeah.
You got a
have no comment. I have no comment. I have no comment.
Like, obviously.
We are on two different wavelengths right now.
Okay.
He said,
like we on two different waves right now. Like I'm at the crest and he like, or I'm at the bottom, he at the, I don't know. But like we ain't on the same wave. The wave ain't waving right now.
Understood. Okay.
What he said,
Understood.
Yeah, okay, he said, I'm behind mine always. Happy birthday, Shay. That's from Marlon.
Oh, I thank you.
That's pretty much had some good, interesting comments on here tonight from people. But the whole thing what George had mentioned, everyone. I can't say everyone. Can't be said as you, black man. Can't say we. Because that kind I don't like, because you can't really put that information out like that because everybody is different. You know, you basically trying to say that every relationship will be damned. You can't say that because you went through that. Don't mean that this person, these people are gonna go through the same thing. That's why I was mentioning last week. You was on the last when I say it takes two willing people to make a thing work. So you just can't say everyone does that. That's impossible. I mean, that's not. Everybody running household different. So
my phone finna die, y'all. I definitely love this conversation. I definitely love tuning in. And I will see y'all in these Facebook streets and in the networking.
You say these Facebook streets.
Yeah, we are present for time, but we appreciate y'all on road, you hanging out with us. Happy birthday once again to Shay as well. And I also want to tell everybody, remember the graveyard. Remember, everybody had one thing in common. They thought they were going to see tomorrow. So remember, let's live every day like it's our last. And remember, encourage yourself, motivate yourself, inspire yourself, connect with the right people. And you connect with the right people, connect with the right sources, you're going to go far and beyond in life. Y'all have a great night. Matter of fact, y'all have any final remarks before we get off the air?
Thank you for having us.
Don't be afraid to love someone.
Awesome stuff. So y'all have a great night. I'll be back here tomorrow night on the podcast. We're gonna be talking about willing to succeed. Have great company that's gonna hang out with me tomorrow night as well. So y'all have a great, blessed night, prosperous night. I know y'all gotta get back to work. Give y'all roses, because you know the grind don't stop.
The grind don't stop, baby.
Y'all have a great night. Peace, everybody.
Thank you again, Furman.
You're welcome.